Welcome back to Supernatural Saturday. I'm your host, Nikki Luciano, and we have Missy, Ryan, and Mason here with us again today. Um, we almost didn't make it, folks. We once again had problems with technical difficulties. We lost 2 out of 4 microphones, and we did all kinds of tests, and it says that the Behringer is fine. It's just StreamYard that we're having problems with. So I don't know. Chalk it up to supernatural, just for the hell of it. Um, Today, I think I'd like to touch on a bunch of topics again. Uh, let's talk about how spirits can manipulate electronics. Anybody want to give an example of problems that you've had with spirits and electric appliances? Oh, well, I'll go first, seeing as how everybody's looking at each other. Um, it was probably 1993, and I was alone in my room with my 3-month-old daughter, Haley, and I was cleaning the room and tidying things up. My husband was at work, the other kids were at school, and I had the stereo running, and it was playing, and it was one of those old ones where it had the built-in turntable for playing records. It had all kinds of things, and it was brand new, but it's playing music. I'm cleaning. All of a sudden, the music just starts turning up gradually, increasing in volume. And no, wait, that was the time that it wasn't even on, and it just turned on out of the blue. And that scared the hell out of me. And then the volume started increasing. So I grabbed the baby out of the crib, jumped on my bed, and called my mom instantly. That was just one of the incidents. Another one was when Missy was turning 18 the next day, and we had a boom box on the kitchen counter, and we were baking cookies at the time. Out of nowhere, it just started playing Unchained Melody. And so I ran over there and turned it off, and it started again. Like it just continued, from the part where it left off. And so I ran over and unplugged it, and it continued. So I pulled the batteries, and it continued. That's when we knew we had a problem. That was like the beginning of them showing us how that they can, manipulate electronics.
Yeah. I mean, I have stuff happen all the time with electronics. For me, I just consider it a power source for them. Like not last night, but the night before, I went upstairs to go to bed, and my TV was already on, and because we had the kitten locked up in there because he just had a surgery, and I'm putting my stuff on the end table and getting my stuff all situated, and all of a sudden my TV, it's a Roku TV, so it clicked to like the main menu screen.
Yeah.
And then it clicked on one of the apps that I don't even know, like it began with a V. I forget which one it was. But it clicked on one of the apps and tried opening that. It wouldn't open. So then went back to the home screen, and then it went under search, and then it was just typing in like random letters.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around, I'm like, Simba, where are you? Like my cat. I'm like, I thought he was stepping on the remote again, but my remote was on my pillow. Mm. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was like laying funny. I'm trying to debunk it in my head because I have to sleep in there. So I'm like, it's occupied already, I guess. And so I turned off the TV, turned it back on, and then it just stayed on like the Roku screen for like 2 minutes, which it normally doesn't take that long to load it back up. And then finally it loads to the home screen again, and I hit the arrow button because I'm gonna turn on according to Jim, something boring so I can go to sleep. And it just like it starts like speed scrolling through like all the apps, and it's going across and it's going down and it's going back up and it's going down, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna stay on this home screen, we're not gonna touch a button, we're putting it to the side, and I'm going to bed. Like, I'm done for the night. Mm-hmm. I'm done. And then we were downstairs the day before that, and the kids wanted to watch something on YouTube on the TV, And so I grab the remote and the TV turned off.
Yeah.
It's not even the remote that turns off the TV. You have to have the other remote to turn the TV off. And I was like, well, what the heck? And I thought it like fell on the couch cushion or something.
Yeah.
Nope, it's sitting on the desk. So I'm like, okay, turn it back on. This is just like a daily thing now. So don't even, it's just another inconvenience for my day. So I just turn it back on, and then we find what the kids wanted to watch on YouTube. And then the TV completely just goes back to the home screen again. Like no, I don't want to watch that. So it's like it goes back. And
just the other night, we had just gotten into bed, and my TV was already on, and you know how it's got that screensaver that shows, on the Roku TVs,
like the city,
like a city, and cars are driving by and stuff. So there was no activity on the TV, just the screensaver.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not even going to watch TV tonight. So I turned the TV off. As I was turning it off, I heard a man's voice say, "No, don't do it."
Mm-hmm. So Delilah and I went up to bed last night, and the screensaver with the city is on.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to get that off the screen as soon as possible because Simba likes to jump on the dresser and chase the cars that are in the TV. There was a man, I swear on everything I believe in, there was a little man on the thing just walking. It has never been there before.
No.
Just this black shadow thing. And I got goosebumps everywhere right now. It freaked me out. I was like, okay, we're turning the screensaver off. And if he stays on that screen, the TV is going out the window at this point. Like, I am done. But then I'm laying there and I'm like, doom scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready to go to bed. And there was a baby crying in my hallway. Newborn baby crying in my hallway.
Oh my God.
I said, well, it's not mine, so I'm not checking on it. It's not mine.
Find your mom.
Yeah. Nope. And then, so I'm just like, nope. So I turn up the TV. I don't hear you. You're not in my thoughts.
Yeah.
There's a little kid outside my window. Mom.
Jimmy had problems with
And I'm like, I know my kids are in bed.
Yeah.
I know. And there was a little kid, like,
but Missy,
between Georgia and Lyric's age.
Do you remember what I told you that is? That's a mimic.
Yeah, I closed my
They
window.
lure you outside. Jimmy was
Not this white girl.
at his girlfriend's house. I'm not naming names because there's too many of them. So he's at a house, and all out of the blue, he said there was a little kid screaming outside, and he's like, "Do you guys hear that?" And they all ran outside to look.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "That's the worst thing you could do."
Yep.
Because the mimic gets a kick out of that. They lure you outside.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're going to do?
Yep.
Who knows what they're capable of
I've
doing?
seen videos about the Appalachian Mountains. I do not go outside. If I hear a scary noise outside, you are in God's hands, not mine. I close my window. I close my blinds. I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing. I'm not a witness.
Well, every being, be it supernatural or human, knows how I am about animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got every kind of imaginable animal on my property.
Yep.
And be it ravens or foxes or even possums and raccoons.
Lions and tigers and bears. I'm like,
right outside my window, I heard an animal screaming.
Mm-hmm.
My first instinct was to run out there and see what it was.
Yeah.
But I think God kicked me in the ass and said, "No, girl, you are not going out there."
Yeah.
I didn't go out there because what if?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I hear, the coyotes cut through my yard all the time. And the neighbors, everybody in the neighborhood said that the coyotes haven't started coming like this close to the houses or even in our subdivision until I moved in.
Yeah.
And now they're frolicking in my backyard. They're just having the time of their lives.
Going on that trampoline.
I know, right? I need to get a camera back there. But so last night I heard the little girl out there saying, "Mom."
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, I heard the coyotes yipping and howling and stuff. And then they got something.
Yeah.
But it was super close. And I was like, I just hope it wasn't the neighbor's dog. But then I'm like, was there really a little girl out there asking for help and now she got mauled by a coyote? Like, I still didn't go outside.
No.
And my windows were open because I mean it was nice out last night.
Yeah,
still,
it was
too.
weird weather
beautiful.
yesterday because
Especially with
it
today.
didn't hit
Yeah.
71 degrees as an all-time, all day
High.
temperature
Yeah.
until
Until
like 5.
Yeah. 4 or 5, something like that.
And that's why, I just thought the weather was just bizarre.
And it was cool last night, but it was nice having that nice cool breeze of fresh air come in because
Yeah.
then I can sleep like amazingly. And as soon as I heard the mom, like in my head doing, inventory, like, okay, Maverick, Lyric, Georgia, everybody's in their beds. I was over here, Mia's over there, whatever. I'm like, it's not mine. And mine, no.
Yeah.
You do not touch that door unless you have an adult with you. So they would not go outside, especially it was like midnight almost. So I closed my window but I left the other one open because that one's like on the side of the driveway. And then a little bit later, I heard the coyotes. And normally I jump up and I look because I want to see them like cutting through my yard. I think it's just like beautiful to see them just being, I didn't get up this time. I was like, nope, there's something different about this one. And then if I look out my window and I see a little girl like right there in my window on the second story window, I'm going to have to use a litter box. I'm just going to be done.
Well, we've dominated the conversation. What about you two? Do you have any experiences with electronics?
Only thing I had, which I mentioned last week, but I don't know which cut it was in.
Whether
Was
it
it
was
the
the one that got
practice
thrown
one?
away or this
the
one?
one that was
I was
in.
going to say your TV.
Yeah, I had just the only thing I had was at night, and it's never been anything else besides that one encounter. And it was just a night, like probably 2 a.m, and it was my living room TV would just turn on, and then as I'd see the light down the hallway from it turning on, and then all of a sudden like the volumes would start going up on it, and I assumed someone broke in and just decided to make that their home, which is fine. I can wall off that room. That's completely fine.
Yeah,
And
didn't you like at first you thought like Mason?
Well, I thought it was Mason, and
got
then
up and,
he was right there.
Yep.
So then I assumed, and at the time I was living on like the Lower East Side of Milwaukee, and we didn't leave our windows open because you got to hear everybody screaming.
Yep.
So whatever. So I assumed first thing was that someone broke in. That's their room now.
Yep.
We'll put a drywall up.
Yep.
Segregate the rooms.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Go in and out the window.
Yeah, that's fine. So I got up and I was like, okay, well, my neighbors are going to start complaining. I mean, this thing was max volume, and it was some show. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like some show where people are fighting and arguing. Because I remember just hearing like loud screams and arguing, and then I walked out there. Nobody's out there. Turned the TV off, and then went back to bed. And then the second time it did that, I didn't even fully lay into bed, and the TV turned itself back on again and started, because when we turn our TVs off, we lower the volume and then mute them and then shut the TVs off.
I do too.
So I lowered the volume, muted it, and then shut the TV off. And then all of a sudden I get into bed and I look and the light's on again, and then I hear the volume going up on the remote, and the remote was on the coffee table out there.
Yeah.
So I got up again and I was like, all right, let's go. And went back out there. And that was when I saw like next to the TV, like this dark figure standing there. That's why I thought someone broke in.
Yeah.
And just for some reason I was the white girl. I just decided to go back to bed and
like hiked up her skirt and ran back to bed.
Yeah, I was like, someone's in here.
It's theirs now.
Yeah.
That's like Christy. She thinks that you can pull your blankets over your head and you're safe from the demons,
I mean,
like
you are, but then
No, you are not. Like, they can't just rip it off and throw you in the air.
But I took it behind my head.
Well, see, I didn't even think it was a demon. I mean, at night, you can hear, we don't live there now, but we used to have over there a lot of, like, interesting creatures, but just people of night that you only see at night.
Crickets.
I was being nice. So, like, when it was garbage,
Crackos, if you will.
yeah, when it was garbage day, we would hear them like digging through the garbage and fighting each other over something that's in the garbage can.
It's either a rat or a homeless person.
There were many times where I would be like walking out the door and going to work, and I get stopped 3 feet before I enter my car from some lady who's like, I need bus fare money. I don't know where I am. Help me.
Oh Lord.
And so that happened a couple times. So I just assumed, I didn't think supernatural. I think I just tried to debunk it and be like, oh, someone broke in. I guess I'm just gonna
Homeless person, I'm gonna go hide in my room now.
Yeah. just don't open the door at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Take what you want.
Food's
Get
in the
out.
fridge.
Yeah, get out.
You got anything, Mason?
Not really.
No. You never had any problems with electronics doing something that they weren't supposed, other than my podcast.
Oh, other than the fact that whenever I talk to you on the phone in my car gets possessed.
Yeah, he was telling me about that the other day.
It's only when I'm on the phone with mom on my car phone.
What happens?
So a couple minutes into the conversation, all of a sudden she'll just turn robotic. And I can't hear anything she's saying. It just sounds like a robot is in my car.
Yeah.
So then I have to like disconnect my phone, reconnect it. Then not even a minute into the conversation, it starts doing it again. But it is only when I'm on the phone with mom.
Yeah.
And then the screen on my car will just turn off, won't turn back on. I don't have GPS. I don't have phone. I don't have nothing.
Yep.
Only when I'm on the phone with her.
When I call mom, I mean, what's supposed to be like a 15-minute conversation turns into like a 2-hour conversation because our phones take turns hanging up on each other.
Yeah.
It's like my phone will hang up on mom, and mom's just sitting there and she's talking and talking and talking. And then I'm calling her back. She's like, wait, I was just talking away. Like, what happened? And then a little while later, your phone will hang up on me, and I'm just sitting there talking away and not even noticing that, the phone hung up. But then that also happened the other day when I was talking to Mason.
Yeah.
It hung up, like it disconnected our call like 5 times.
Eventually I stopped calling her back.
Yeah, he stopped calling me back. And I'm like, I'll call him later.
The spirits obviously don't want you to talk.
That's what we said too. Like, somebody doesn't want us talking today.
What was I gonna say? I'm talking about how about the times that I'm talking to you, or even when I'm talking to Haley, and one of us hears somebody else talking in the background, but there's
Usually-
nobody home.
Yeah, usually there's like at least one time during the conversation, either you or I will be like, what'd you say? Or
No,
what
I was like,
that?
is Tanner home?
Yeah. Because
And you're
mom
like,
will hear like a man
"No."
talking, but I hear a woman talking most of the time on your end.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they're like chiming in on the conversation, like they're adding.
Yeah.
'Cause
They're,
I'm like,
they're
well, what
2
did-
cents.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what do they say? And you're like, oh, they said like this. And I'm like, well, no, Tanner's not home, or
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, it's
Because it sounded like you and I are having a normal conversation, and it sounded like Tanner was in the background, and it pertained to what we were talking about. And he was like, oh, that's just bullshit.
yeah. Yep.
You
Or
know?
we'll hear like the robotic laughing.
Oh, that's
in
what I
the
was
phone
going to
call.
say. Just the interview that I did with Bill,
Mm-hmm.
when he interviewed me, I can talk, interviewed me for his podcast called Extraordination.
Mhm.
I just shared that with William the other day. I hope he listened to it, but I'm going to have to put that on my Facebook page and share it so everybody can hear it. As we're talking, there's other voices outside of ours, and Bill is an expert on anything technology, wise. And he said, and I didn't understand it at first, what he was trying to say. He said, no, there were voices that were not of this world.
Yeah.
Some sounded robotic, some sounded demonic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right on the interview. He left it in there on purpose.
Yep.
And every time we'd try to do a podcast, either he would lose Wi-Fi, or I would lose Wi-Fi, or the
Some
mics
kinda-
would cut
yeah.
out or something. He's lost entire podcasts because the whole thing just went away.
Yeah.
I say I've also had, now that I'm remembering things, we used to have, there was like the little Apple
The HomePod.
pod thing, little
Mhm.
home pod,
Oh,
and we had that, and it was always when I was home by myself. At
oh,
least.
Google Home.
No,
It's the Apple one.
version.
Oh,
Mhm.
Apple.
So it was like whatever. So it would always be like, it was usually sitting in the living room. It would be plugged in. And besides like the occasional, everyone who has an iPhone knows that Siri's listening and just starts talking.
Mhm.
I don't get, that's not anything
I
that's
was waiting for your phone
Yeah.
to pop up because
Yeah.
you said her name.
nothing. That's nothing supernatural to me. There would be times where I'd hear it be like, what do you need? And like,
Yeah.
whatever. But the weird thing was like, I would always be like home by myself and it would be in the living room and like, I'd be either like doing dishes or something or like
Mhm.
wandering around. And it would always start playing music
Yeah.
on the pot.
Mhm.
And it was never.
He instantly would blame me, but I was at work 20 minutes away.
Well, I was like, at first I would start being like, hey, maybe like Mason's phone's weirdly connecting to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, so then, but it was never like normal, like any music we listened to.
Mhm.
Not even close. Like one time it played the, I had to look up the song because I didn't know it, but it was like this song about, it's called The End of the World. It's like a very depressing song.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it started playing that once and then it just starts like, it's never like a cheery up. It's like something that just sounds like it's got a lot of like,
Melancholy.
yeah, but like a lot of verbiage, words trying to come through it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I unplugged it.
Mhm.
So I decided that if it starts playing music unplugged,
Yep.
it has never been plugged back in ever. It's in a box somewhere.
Yep.
That started my whole thing on not wanting them in the house. But it would be such a weird like melody, something elevator music with words,
Yeah.
and it just kind of like, and it would. I go over, stop it, like you click. It's got a little screen. You stop it.
Yep.
And then it'd be fine. A couple days later, I'd be by myself, starts playing again, and I look. It's not like my phone doesn't say it's playing anything. No devices in the house say they're not playing anything because like I would immediately look at my phone and be like, well, maybe it connected, and no, it'd just be
Yeah.
a blank screen.
Well, Mason and I had an experience kind of like that. We were at my house in Waukesha, and we were just sitting there, and I had, was it the Google Home I had?
Oh, I hate that
or
thing.
something, or I don't know, whatever. It one of those so-called smart devices. And Mason and I were just sitting there having a conversation, and it's like, just out of the blue, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. But
Yeah.
here's an article on, and it was some like mass killing thing, and we're just like, no, stop, and then it wouldn't stop, and I had to unplug it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we plugged it back in like the next day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I paid money for this. I'm going to use it.
I'm just curious. I want it to talk again,
No, it was talking about like this, like super, like, it was like a bloodbath
Yeah.
massacre thing. Like it was
Very gruesome and
Yeah.
detailed.
very detailed. And we're like, no, stop. And we plugged it back in the next day. And then it was like, oh, here's your article on, and we weren't even talking. We were just waking up.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking. TV was muted. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's your article on, and it was just something else like totally gruesome and
Yeah.
disgusting. And we're just like, no, it got packed up in a tote. It got put down in the basement. And I still, to this day, don't know which tote it is in or where it is. But if I told me, I said, if you hear talking down there,
That's on you.
Yeah.
that's on you. You don't hear it.
I said, I gotta.
Keep your demons to yourself.
I'm gonna have to show you guys because we were talking about it in the car. So literally, so for everyone listening, we got a new house. I've never been big on cameras, stuff like that. There are no cameras in the house. We had a security system put in. There's cameras on the front and back side.
He
of the
didn't
house.
even want a ring doorbell.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I've never
Yeah.
wanted cameras or anything.
Thinks the
For
FBI
some
is gonna watch
reason,
him.
Mhm.
my basement has a walkout and my bedroom's 2 floors up.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, got creeped out at the fact that if someone were to break through that window that door downstairs, I wouldn't hear them break in.
Yeah.
So we had a system put in. Yesterday, after my lovely electrical work, I went in. So
What, Sparky?
so there was the front
Shocking
door.
back into reality.
My
He
friend-
looked like the poster on the National Lampoon's Christmas where he's being electrocuted.
So there were two things on the Ring doorbell that happened yesterday. One was early in the morning, which was I got notified at like 5:30 in the morning that somebody was at my door, which usually it's like a squirrel,
Yeah.
a cat, a
Mhm.
bird, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
But I've been turning up the motion sensing more because I find that the video will the mailman will show up and then all of a sudden it'll cut and
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do that so it'll be more streamlined. So I got yesterday at like 5:30 in the morning, someone's at my door. Okay, great. So I go to look at the Ring doorbell and I have it recorded on my phone. There is a gentleman standing broad. It's like daylight out. You
Mhm.
can't see him at all. And he's standing right at the entrance to our patio.
Yeah.
And then the camera cuts out. And then the camera, then I started, like, I logged in
Yeah.
30
you did
seconds
the
afterwards.
live,
Nothing there. So on the video, it just says standing, like
Nice.
dark figure, nothing.
then gone.
So then, whatever. I assumed, I have an HOA who does landscaping and stuff like that, and I just put in a permit to try to get my fence repaired. So I
Yeah.
assumed somebody's
looking at
looking
it.
at it.
That's
Yeah.
the average human brain trying to justify
Yeah.
what's
So
going
at
on.
first, I got nervous because I was in bed, and I was like, okay. I got up, went to the guest bedroom, no one's out there, and I'm like, okay, maybe they sent, it's becoming spring. I know that we all got letters that they're going to do this all new flower landscaping, and they needed to look at everyone's properties, figure out where they want to put flowers and stuff. So I assumed somebody was just looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. So then later in the evening, which we were talking about in the car because I just found it on my way here, I'm outside. You can see me on the camera going back to deal with the mess I made,
Mhm.
and it's just me out there. And I was telling Mason, I'm like, there was no noises out there, blah, blah, blah. But and I'm walking out the door and I'm like talking to myself, and I'm like, oh, it's a little chilly out here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm walking over to the thing, and on the Ring doorbell, it sounds like some lady is standing right there against my doorbell.
No, it was a kid.
It was a kid.
And he said, "Mom, it's not even cold outside."
Oh Lord.
That
But-
gave me chills up my spine.
It literally, I
Literally.
played it in the car because I'm like, Mason goes, oh, well, maybe it's the neighbors. And I'm like,
But
no,
you can
nobody was
kind
out
of
there.
see. You can see, like, over the fence. You can see the top of the neighbor's door.
Yeah.
So you can see if it's open or closed.
Yeah.
Their door is closed. They don't have windows on the front of their house.
Mhm.
There's no kids out there.
Oh yeah, and I was like, I was out there. There was never, because if I saw like the neighbors' kids next door, I would have said hi or something.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing anything. I was just, and I didn't hear it because you can see I just went over and kept doing what I was doing.
Mhm.
I would have at least like turned around or something and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
figured out where somebody was.
I've
Mhm.
got a question for you, Ryan. Did your mom ever have a miscarriage?
Yeah, she had a daughter.
That could be who was answering you.
But she said, "Mom."
Yeah, well, maybe
Well,
she was.
I ain't your mother.
Maybe
Hi,
she
Mom.
was just saying, or maybe it's like another realm.
Or maybe we're all actually dead, living in somebody else's universe.
Mhm.
Well, after our dump truck accident, you could not convince me that we were still alive,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because who gets hit by a dump truck at 60 miles an hour in the dead of winter?
Just walks away a little confused.
Yeah,
Well, I had to have my left
Well,
arm
yeah.
reconstructed twice, but
But you
That's
walked
small
away.
potatoes compared to what it could have been.
even when the ambulance driver pulled up, we were like, we're dead, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. I couldn't see my glasses were on my nose. They're on my face,
Yeah, they're crooked.
not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
So,
they weren't on your eyes.
No.
Haley had some incidents when she was living in Waterford. It was never, I guess, proven, but we suspect that the people that lived there before her, they had a son, and he was always wanted by the police. And neighbors in the neighborhood would say things like, well, yeah, I think their son died downstairs in the basement. And there was a wanted poster downstairs, and it was like a keepsake,
Mhm.
like, haha, look what I did, this is my wanted poster. But things would happen downstairs, and she would hear noises, and doors would close mysteriously or open on their own. And she was doing something, home remodeling. And she heard an old guy say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Mhm.
And she heard it audibly,
Yeah.
not on a recording or anything like that. She actually heard an old guy say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Mhm.
And she at first didn't think, she just responded. She's like, "Well, I'm trying to hang this picture," or whatever it was she was doing,
Yep.
And then she went, "Wait a minute." And she turned around and she was like, "Oh crap." So she had to call me and tell me about that one. But in this new house that they're in out in Fond du Lac, she's been having problems with the TV turning on by itself.
Mhm.
like an hour before she goes to bed. And Danny will go in there and he's like, "Oh, we're going to bed now?" And she goes, "I don't care what you do."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you turn the TV on?" And she said, "No, I didn't turn the TV on." And he's like, "Oh, there must be some kind of a timer." And Dad had the same thought when our TV used to go on by
Mhm.
itself. I said, "There's timers that will turn your TV off, but not on."
Yeah.
And try to get a guy to believe this, but sure as shit, the TV keeps going on at Haley's house by itself. Oh, look, there's a raven looking at us.
Mhm.
Insert
We
bird
have
noises.
lots of
Yeah.
we have lots of ravens here. But what was I saying now?
Timer on the TV doesn't turn it on.
Yeah,
turns
the
it off.
timer on the TV doesn't turn it on, it turns it off.
Mhm.
But also, she's been having a problem upstairs. The bedroom door keeps opening by itself, and she makes sure it's closed tight. It clicks, and then she like pushes on it, and it
Yeah.
won't open. But then she'll come downstairs, and she hears the door open.
That's it. You've lost door privileges.
All doors off.
You've lost door privileges.
I love that kind of stuff. Even when we
Nope.
used to get the phantom doorbell rings, and even after I got Ring doorbell, all of a sudden the doorbell will ring and we go to the door and nobody's there. And it makes my mind wonder, what are we letting in when we open the door to see who's there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
So I don't open the door.
No.
No, lost door privileges.
You're a strict parent, aren't you, Ryan?
It's all about leaving
My
door
spirits are
privilege.
under
You
control.
lost
Yeah.
your doors of your bedrooms
Yep.
and you're not allowed to open the front door.
My spirits don't play around with that. They play with the door, they don't get doors.
I mean, my doorbell goes off at least 20 times a day, and it's like, motion detected at your front door, and I'll pull up the video, and there's no way, nothing, not a leaf moving, nothing.
Yeah, mine,
Yeah.
mine doesn't go off. It just keeps saying that there's people at your door,
Mhm.
which it knows the difference. Like the Ring doorbell will tell you motion or person.
Yeah.
Motion is like squirrel.
Yeah.
Or a cat or
Mhm.
a leaf or a bird, whatever. And I don't even look at those. I look at the ones where it says there is a person at
Yeah.
your door. Because then I'm like, well, now who's stepping on my
Yeah.
property? Who's
I-
not invited? And
Yeah.
then I look and it's never anyone there.
Oh, I've got the Blink outdoor cameras, pan cams.
Yeah.
And for outside. And it's very descriptive when it tells you what's going on. Like the other day when it snowed, it said, "There's a man in your driveway with a shovel." I was like, if the police ever find this, they're going to be like, they had maniacs running around
Yeah.
here, There's a man moving a garbage can in your driveway. We get all kinds of crazy stuff. But getting back to that Google Home and Alexa, if I say it, she'll go off.
Mhm.
I'll be home alone. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, it'll say, I don't know the answer to that, but here's what I found. And then it goes on to another subject.
Yeah.
Nobody's even asking it questions,
Mhm.
Or Dad and I'll just be sitting here and he's scrolling on his phone and I'm scrolling on my phone. And it's like, I don't know the answer to that, but here's some music I think you'll like. And it just starts blasting music.
That's why I don't
Google
have
Home was scary though. We unplugged it and it was still going.
Nothing for me tops going to Boy Scout Hill or
Oh,
Boy
yeah.
Scout
Boy
Lane.
Scout Lane here in Wisconsin.
and what my radio was doing. Like there was
Well, let's
no-
explain first what Boy Scout Lane is.
Spooky.
Tell what you remember about the story behind
Well,
Boy
you
Scout
can
Lane.
just tell the story.
A whole troop of Boy Scouts went camping and disappeared.
Mhm.
And the bus is missing. The bus driver was missing.
All the troop leaders.
All the troop leaders, they just all vanished. So we decide, stupid white girls,
boy.
we're
And
gonna,
Mason.
and a boy,
Everything.
that we're gonna go check it out and see what we can pick up on. When you drive down the road and get to Boy Scout Lane, one of the residents there is probably so sick of tourists that they put up a sign that says, "Smile, you're being videotaped."
Well, and that it's a private
It's
road
pri-
now.
yeah, it's private.
Yeah, now it's private owned. We didn't know this.
Well,
No.
the road isn't. You couldn't go into the woods.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the road we were on was perfectly legal for us to be on.
Oh, okay.
You just couldn't go step foot on your vehicle and go walk through
Mhm.
the woods.
So we get there and we start driving through, and we thought, well, we don't want to trespass. So we just kind of stayed on that road in our vehicle. I had all my ghost hunting equipment going. I had the EMF detector. I had everything you can think of running.
SLS camera.
Yeah, SLS cameras. And I'm looking at the SLS camera and I was like, Missy, do you see these stick figures? She goes, yeah. I said, those are freaking people walking through the woods, but there's nobody there.
Well, because I had mine on too. They were climbing on the truck. They
Yeah.
were running around the truck. They were.
And then they didn't end up using the equipment. They were talking through your radio.
Yep.
Yeah, we had the radio on and it was playing modern music.
Yep.
And all of a sudden it went staticky. And then they were playing like real old timey music from like the 40s.
Yeah, because it was real staticky, and no matter what we did, we couldn't fix it. So I just pulled up like 3 inches in the truck, just drove the truck like 3 inches forward, and all of a sudden we were like in this different world.
Yeah. And they were actually speaking through the radio.
And they kept saying the bus driver did it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that they were hungry and they were scared and they were alone.
Yeah. I think we took some videos of that
I have
and
goosebumps
saved
just
them.
thinking about it.
What?
I have goosebumps just thinking
We have to
about
go
it.
back.
I want to go back there so
Oh,
bad.
and then when we're done with Boy Scout Lane,
Mhm.
we're driving down that road and we see a small cemetery and it's all fenced in. Not
Yeah, there
the
was
normal
maybe,
fence.
like-
There was probably a dozen headstones
Yeah,
there.
maybe. Yeah.
And what attracted me right away was the last name was Blood.
Mhm.
Blood. So Missy's like, well, do you want to go check it out? And I said, sure. We get out of the car and I mean,
Well,
there's
like a
houses
little-
off to the right.
A little side footnote: the whole time we're on Boy Scout Lane and we drove around the corner to the cemetery, there is UTVs of people just flying around,
Yeah.
just circling. where we
Stalking
were.
us. Like it was like we were being hunted.
Yeah.
I felt like we were in the movie Hunger Games
Mhm.
More like Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
or Children of the Corn. But anyway, we're standing there outside the fence. We're not touching anything. We're not defacing anything.
Being very respectful.
Yeah, being very respectful, but I was taking pictures. Through my peripheral vision, I see something coming through the tall grass. And I look over, and here's this guy who's got to be like in his 80s,
On a bicycle.
doing like 60 miles an hour on an old mountain bike. He comes busting butt over to us and he goes, can I help you?
But the weird thing is, so his house was,
Across the grassy field.
A mile away.
yeah, it had to be, it,
Not
you
a
know,
mile, but,
but like,
Well, it was close enough that we could see that there was an old sheriff's car covered in
At least a
inches
football
of
field
dust.
away.
yeah, it was about a football field away from our truck to his house.
Mhm.
From the time I got out of the driver's seat, walked around the back of my truck, he was already right there.
Yeah, asking and had some informational brochure that he'd put together saying that, trespassers have been coming here. We don't allow trespassers. All
Didn't it say
kinds of
something
things.
about like,
Well, he told us that there was like teenagers or something that were being an issue there,
Mhm.
and that he came out with a shotgun just shooting.
Yeah. And so I'm talking to the guy, trying to let him know that, we have a paranormal investigation group and that we're not there to harm anything. We're not going to tamper with anything or take anything. And he was fine. He calmed down and everything. Little did I know that Mason and Desi were taking videos and snapshots of the guy. We get into the car and we're driving away. And we looked, his shirt was, I forgot what.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, but it was the,
Something Boys. Heart
Bugle
Boy.
Boy, an
Yeah.
old Bugle Boy shirt from like the 70s or 80s. And what I noticed was when you looked at his shoes,
He had a
they had
giant hole.
holes in them.
Mm-hmm.
There was no feet inside the shoes.
No.
It was just hollow. And I've shared that picture on Facebook too. And I shared that with Bill, and he was like in total disbelief. He could not believe what he was seeing.
But as Mason and Dusty were showing us these pictures, we started getting chased,
Yeah, yeah.
and like they're trying to run us off by the UTVs, and they're
Mhm.
like trying to run us off the road, and then they cut out in front of us and then slam on their brakes, and they're trying to like box us in.
And then as soon as we left the city limits,
They were gone.
They were gone.
Yeah.
Mind you, the houses were rundown shacks that weren't even worth like $25,000.
Remember, we
We were
also went to
beat
that one
down.
diner.
Yep, they went to the diner, and then because the cops, who told us to go to that diner?
The cop
The
who
police
was who
officer.
repoed or towed that one
Yeah,
car
at
in the parking
hotel
lot
that we
at the
ran into.
hotel.
So he told us to go to this diner. He's like, oh, everybody, you know, very welcoming, and they'll talk about, because it was an old brothel,
Mm-hmm.
and parts of the
They
building
still have
were
the shed still
yeah, the
outside.
sheds were still out. And he told us a story about there was one lady that worked there. She had a husband that did he work there? He was just a husband, and she worked at the brothel. And one of her clients became like super obsessed with her. I don't remember like the whole story, but there was like a killing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
like
that
a
shed.
murder in that shed. Well, the shed is still standing. He's like, go talk to the people. Like, people love talking about it, this and that. We go there, and it was like we had like the plague, and we were bringing it to them.
That's why I said it was like Children of the Corn.
Yeah,
Because we were very
got
much the outsiders
Oh,
and everybody knew it.
that
They
side of the
ran us
restaurant-
out of town on these ATVs that are worth like $40,000-$50,000 UTVs, and their houses are just, like I said, scrap wood.
Well, we walk in and we sit down, we get the menu, and they're like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and we, just let them know what we're there for.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, that side of the restaurant got emptied out.
Yeah.
Everybody was over on the other side, and they were just like sitting there staring at us the whole time we were there.
Yep. And then even the waitress's attitude changed about it.
She
She
didn't come
wouldn't
back
talk
over.
about it.
She brought the food back over, threw it down on the table, and we never saw her again.
Yep.
She was gone.
We had to go up to the bar to pay for our food
Mhm.
before we left. But she never came back to ask what we wanted, if we needed anything else or
Nope.
anything. It was scary as shit, because I truly believe that whole town has hidden secrets that they're not
Oh, for
telling
sure.
anybody. I forgot what the town was. It started with a P.
Pewaukee.
No. Like Polk County or something like that.
I don't remember. I'll have to look.
It's right outside of Prairie du Chien.
We're in Stevens Point. I thought.
Oh yeah, Stevens Point. But it's right outside of Stevens Point. It starts with a P.
Was it Plover?
Plover. Yes, indeed, it was. So if you're from Plover, you were not very welcoming.
Yeah.
And they followed us all the way to the city limit sign. And then once they saw we were gone, they turned around in the middle of the road and went back. I really wish my Ryan could have been there for that.
Should have got a postcard. Wish you were here.
Yeah.
We had some good adventures.
Yeah. I
Like-
really want to go back to Boy Scout Lane though. There's something.
Bloody Bride Bridge. Oh my God, that
Oh,
was
that was
so
a good
fun.
one too.
Wisconsin's got a lot of deep, dark secrets and a lot of haunted places.
Mm.
Mason disappeared.
Mhm.
The polk, what Plover people got him.
Yeah.
How about when we went and saw Sylvia Brown? Remember
Mm.
that in Menominee, Wisconsin?
Buttercup.
Yeah. She did a reading for us, and she was so on the money.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it. She picked up on my Grandma Rose and the ring that I bought her. Everything.
Yeah.
And normally people can't read me,
Mm.
I've had so many psychics try, and they were just like, you already know.
Yeah.
And they give me back my money.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you looking up?
I was looking up Boy Scout Hill.
Oh,
or
Boy Scout Lane.
I don't know why I keep calling it hill. It's flat.
I don't know. Well, I guess that's about it, unless Mason has anything to add once he comes back. Anything happening to you lately?
Constantly.
Yeah,
And
I don't.
especially now, like, I don't know if it's because I'm like redecorating and redoing things around the house. That's usually
That's
when
what
they
they say,
stir,
yeah.
stir up
Yeah.
the most.
If you move stuff around, you're stirring
Yep.
them up.
But like Tanner and I were sitting in the living room the other night, and I spoiled myself, and I went and bought myself a book, which I haven't done in like years.
For
What
sure.
book did you get?
And James Patterson, it's the second part of Along Came a Spider. I forget what it's called.
Squish.
But yeah. But I just remember, like, I was so frustrated because I went to the store and I'm like, James Patterson has 7 books out right now, and like the little kid in me is like, buy them all. We gotta get them
Yeah.
all. Like, I'm just obsessed with books. So I limited myself. I got one, and it was on the kitchen counter, and we were sitting there watching TV, you know, getting the kids calmed down, getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden the book just flew across the kitchen.
Oh,
Just flew. And it's not even like you could debunk it with like, oh, the window was open, there was a breeze. This is a heavy hardcover book.
yeah.
You know, we're talking like 400 pages, 500 pages. James Patterson is very wordy. And it's a hardcover, and it flew and landed like in my hallway by the bathroom there.
Yeah.
And it was by where my back door is.
Okay.
So it flew. So we were kind of just like looking at each other, and the kids are like, what was that? I'm like, nothing, it was a cat. Go sit down. But my cats don't go on counters. My cats know. From the minute you walk in my door, do not go on counters, do not go on tables, do not sniff near food. Like, you are a floor animal. So it wasn't a cat. And then there was like, you know, it's either that day or like the next day. We're sitting there and it sounds like a glass plate just like smashes on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I have 6 kids total. We don't use glass plates. They're up in the cabinet, but they're up on the top shelf. They're for decorational purposes only. So I go running in there because I'm like, what broke? Nothing.
Last night I was sitting in the kitchen at the breakfast bar. Dad was in the living room, and you know, we've got that cutout so we can see each other through the hole. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Dad, and I felt somebody coming up behind me, and I could hear footsteps. You know, the difference from when they were walking on the rug in the hallway to when they hit the ceramic tile floor. Heard footsteps, turned around like, who the hell is here? And there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And then the second time it happened, a few minutes later, Dad said, even I heard those footsteps.
Yeah.
So
Upstairs 2 nights ago, and the kids went to bed. I'm getting ready to take my shower before I go to bed, and I'm standing next to my bed, and Simba's on the bed screaming at me, and I'm, you know, trying to get my clothes together and whatever, and I feel somebody just like hip check me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I spun around because I thought it was Tanner. I'm like, you know, excuse you, but nobody was there.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Tanner was trying to get through to get into the closet, but he was downstairs. And I mean, it was just like that. Like, if somebody would like try to like squeeze past you, but they ended up bumping into your butt or whatever. And I'm like, wait, we're crossing a line here.
Yeah,
like,
there's
you don't,
boundaries.
you don't, no square, no touching. Like, do not touch me.
well, that thing that I was going through this morning that I was telling you on the phone today, because Dad contacted you first.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, all my kids are texting me, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the breakfast bar, and it felt like somebody put their arm around me,
Yeah.
like in a comforting way, you know? And I was like, I had to look to see if Dad had come up behind me and put his arm around me.
Mhm.
And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I could actually feel
Yep.
weight, and like it felt like an arm,
Mhm.
you know? That was weird.
I've had back, thinking of Missy's plates, because back when I worked at a retirement home, besides the weird things you'd see in the mirrors, but there was like during COVID, there was during COVID, it was like employees who worked there had to go in, and we'd be in there for like 5-day shifts nonstop, and then
Mhm.
you'd get days off because they had the quarantine, you'd go in and out.
Yeah.
And so during the time, you'd become like CNAs would become everything: housekeepers,
Yep.
Yeah.
dining room staff, everything. So there was like and this is it's a very, very old building, very old. It used to be like something else before it was a retirement home, but it's been a retirement home for a while.
Yeah.
And then, so on the there was like 4 dining rooms. There was a big one on the first floor, and then the memory care one, and then 2 on the 3rd floor. And the 2 on the 3rd floor were very small, like kind of a little creepy. But I remember everybody I worked with would always say, there's this one at the end of the hall, literally goes all the way down, no doors, nothing. And at the end is this little dining room.
Yeah.
And everyone would always say, and in it had like a little kitchen with like a little hot bar or whatever in it. So you'd wheel your resident in, you'd feed them 5 of them at a time, and then get them out of there. And then, so everyone would say that one. And when you walk in, there were like actual glasses, like in the kitchen area, just on the counters, ready to go.
Mhm.
And people were always saying, which I also saw, was that when, like, for one time I walked out to go take care of, like, clean up my resident, get them out of there, get the next batch in. And I heard like a crashing sound in the kitchen, and the glasses that were in the middle of the like island in the kitchen just off the side, they were shattered on the ground. And I wasn't regular people mind is like, oh, I don't know, someone made a loud thump. I don't know, something flung it off.
Yeah.
But it was a room with no windows, nothing happening.
Yeah.
But we always would make jokes about it, because everybody who was in that dining room, it would always be like they're in there by themselves cleaning up after everyone's left, and a glass
Mhm.
shatters just
Yeah.
randomly. Or it's sitting on a table, and they would like walk out of the dining room, come back, it's on the ground shattered.
Yeah.
It was constant. And looking back on it, that's definitely someone messing around, especially with places like that. I think there's a lot of spirit activity in
Oh,
places like that.
definitely. Last week when we did our podcast, well, first of all, we did an 1.5 hour podcast, and then found out that none of it recorded. So thankfully Mason spent hours and hours and hours and figured it out and got it working again. Missy was talking about something, I forgot what it was, but it cut out 2 minutes of the entire podcast. Something that I believe they didn't want us to say.
So if
I'm
we
gonna
get
have
cuts
to
out,
listen back to it.
Yeah, I forget what part that was. That was
I-
something. Wasn't it was it the part about
Grocery
me,
store.
like, yeah, walking through the grocery store
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
picking up on people's energy,
Yeah.
and then noticing like the demonic presence in people while I'm walking through the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it cut out.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my God, what happened to the 2 minutes in the middle of the
because it picked
podcast?"
up as soon as she quit talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we like transitioned into the next subject, and it picked up from that moment on,
Yeah.
which was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you want to add? Any experiences you want to talk about, Mason? You've been very quiet, uncharacteristically quiet for Mason.
Not that I can think of.
I don't remember if he told the story in the first podcast that
I know.
didn't
I keep
get recorded.
I keep meshing both of them. I don't
or
know
the
what I said.
second one. But I'd like Mason to tell his New Orleans story, please.
Okay. So we were in New Orleans for a trip, whatever. We were there for like 10 days.
10 days, yeah.
And the first night there, we're on
So then decadent.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
And just got there, and it's packed. There's festivals going on out there.
Terrible night.
It was horrible. And yeah, that's the day you had a gun pulled on you. But
First day.
really sealed the deal with the
Yeah.
trip.
Start the trip out with a bang.
But then, because we were talking about
Like spirits, like voodoo.
what
is it?
were we talking about in the last podcast? About like sensing people's energies,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well, I
And-
had told Mason before he even went on this trip to be extremely careful, because people in New Orleans, they don't play. It's a very dark energy down there. And there are real psychics there and people that mess with voodoo and stuff. And I said, the minute you walk into a building, they're going to know who you are, because they're going to know that you're a reader and that you come from a long line of people that are clairvoyant, audiovoyant, and stuff like that.
Yeah. But we were on Bourbon Street and everything was fine, whatever. And from like a football field away through the crowd, I look up. I just had a feeling to look that way. And I look up and I see somebody just standing in the middle of Bourbon Street, just staring at me. And then it sounded like it was right in my ear. I heard somebody say, "I see you."
Yeah.
And then later on in the trip, I mean, that happened quite a few times. I heard many people would walk by and say stuff like, "I see you," or "I know," or "I know what you are," stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it kind of became just like a normal thing. I thought the people in New Orleans were just weird.
No, Hunty, they know.
But then we went to what's a restaurant?
Cafe du Monde.
Cafe du Monde. And that was fine. And then Ryan gave the very old cashier lady the money. That was fine. She gave him the change. Ryan gave it to me. And then I went to turn around to give it to her as a tip. And she would not take the money out of my hand. She made me set it on the counter, and then she would take the money. She would not touch me.
Now, if you could see Mason,
looked like
he's
a psychic.
very clean cut. Mason and Ryan are very clean cut. All American boys. You know, they don't look dirty. They don't look unkempt in any way, shape, or form. So for her not to want to touch hands with him, there was something energy-wise going on. She knew something.
Yeah.
But we have that happen a lot, and it's unnerving sometimes.
Yeah. And while we were down there, we were trying to take advantage of not the dark magic part, but like just the spirit activity. Because they have a lot of old cemeteries down there, especially after the hurricanes that have broken open, like vaults broken open, stuff like that, where you can see stuff. There's the La Marin Mansion we went to, which is extremely haunted.
I've always wanted to go to the French Quarter and
Yeah.
check out those cemeteries.
That's
That's where we stayed.
That's where we stayed. We were in the
Ugh.
French Quarter. And so it
so
was
lucky.
it was like everywhere we turned, it was either like that park that was 1 block over, that's a giant cemetery,
Mhm.
or the La Marin Mansion, which is a very historical building down there for a lady who would chain up. I think back in
She had slaves.
She'd chain
Are
up.
we talking La Llorona?
No,
No,
I don't know
Marin.
what her full name
Yeah, I
was,
don't know what her full
Mm.
name is.
but it was
I looked it up.
way back when, and Missy would remember.
She was there.
And she had slaves, and then she would chain them up in her like in the attic,
Oh yeah.
and she would like dismember some of them. She would like attach extra arms onto people, and she was making these weird creatures with them. She would break their bones and stuff like
And
that.
Isn't she the one that when the cops were, the law, I should say, was finally notified about her,
Well,
they went in and she was gone. She jumped on a train or something.
Yeah. One
of the
took off
slaves-
to another country.
because one of the slaves started the house on fire.
Okay.
And so then there was the fire, there was the firefighters,
I
stuff
have
like
the
that.
whole thing here.
And what was her name?
Her name was
Lalaurie.
Madame Define La Marine in 1830s. So she had an issue where it's listed as one of the most haunted homes in the country, but stemming from a satanic torture of enslaved people. And after a house fire in 1834 exposed the horrific crimes, the house became infamous for reports of ghost sightings and unexpected physical assaults. And then in 1834, when the fire broke out, rescuers found slaves in the attic, severely tortured, chained, and malnourished, in accounts of medical experiments of horrific bodily damage.
Mutilated.
Yeah, I always wanted to go there.
It's
Mhm.
we were outside of it. It's privately owned now.
Well, the next time you go, take my ghost hunting
Yeah,
equipment
it's
with you.
private. We wanted to see if it was maybe something you could go in, but it is privately owned by somebody now. You can't go in it.
Oh,
I forget who owned it. A lot of people, but it's weird too because they've said since it's then people who have owned it haven't owned it longer than a year and a half,
And they
Well,
never
before.
live there.
and they
Just take
and no
my
one ever
ghost-
lives in it.
just take my ghost hunting equipment with you when you just go to New Orleans, period, and just have it on.
Or you can just come with us to New Orleans.
We're going in May.
We are going to May.
How are you getting there?
flying.
Driving.
Oh, he's going to fly and he's going to drive.
I'll fly with you. They can drive together.
Liz is flying.
Oh,
We're driving.
we're driving. Road trip.
'Cause our boss is selling her house there.
Oh, no.
She wants to do one last vacation
Yeah.
before it goes.
Speaking of her, did you ever find out if I can come in there with my equipment and check out the bar?
Nope.
Text her
Why?
now. Oh.
I don't know.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Yeah. I'll get on
And she'll
that.
do the talking.
There you
Mhm.
go. All right. Well, we should probably turn these prisoners loose and.
Okay, Lalaurie.
Tune in next weekend and we'll have another episode of Supernatural Saturday. Until then, this is Nikki Luciano, Missy, Ryan, and Mason signing off.